Hello and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about bathroom automation. More specifically, I want to talk about automating your shower fan light. And we're going to do that using a neat little in-wall switch. It's an EnerWave Z-Wave Plus relay that fits nicely right inside the receptacle box. That's up next. So I want to take the opportunity to welcome you again to Bud's Home Automation and Repair channel. On this channel, I do various home repair projects as well as home automation projects. These projects can make your home more comfortable, convenient, and smart. So if that kind of content appeals to you, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's go ahead and get into today's content. So today I'm going to show you the steps I took to install the EnerWave Z-Wave switch over here into this receptacle. I'm also going to talk about the trigger switch that I initially wanted to use, but I couldn't get to work. I'm still looking for device handlers to try to get that switch to work. I'll talk about that in just a minute. And then finally, what I want to do is show you how I programmed my trigger device as well as the switch in order to get this automation to work. So before we get into the installation of these devices, let me show you what the automation does. I have first half of the multi-purpose sensor mounted up here on the top rail, as you can see. The second half is up here on the sliding door. So when I slide this door closed, it's going to close this contact. When that contact closes, it'll advise the app to turn the fan light on. And then when I open the door, you would expect it to turn off immediately, but I put a 5-minute delay, and the purpose for that is to ensure that I purge all the humidity out of the bathroom before the fan shuts off, and then after 5 minutes the fan will shut off automatically. Of course, you have the option to go ahead and turn it off manually if you want once you towel off and get out of the shower. So let's look at it and see how it works. So the fan light is on right now. I open it up, and of course it remains on for 5 minutes and then automatically shut off. Okay, as I mentioned previously, my original intent was to use a different sensor other than that multi-purpose sensor. The sensor that I intended to use was a Zeus 4-in-1 sensor. That sensor comes with the capability to not only monitor motion, but also to monitor the level of light, humidity, and also temperature. So it's a pretty neat little device. I was able to install the device. It was very easy to install, and I used a SmartThings community device handler to get the sensor to work, and it worked as advertised. The only issue was that the sensor was not able to turn the switch on or off when it hit those specified trigger points that I mentioned previously. Suffice it to say that I'm still looking for a smart app or a device handler that will work. And if I ever find an effective solution, it surely will make interesting content for a follow-up video. One additional piece of information that I want to pass on. If you look at the SmartThings forums, you're going to see a lot of banner on there about the terrible battery life on this sensor. This latest sensor has been updated with a larger battery. It's now using this CR123A battery, and I guess the battery life is much improved. The battery life on the former model was so terrible that a lot of the SmartThings community members actually decided to direct wire this thing because it was killing batteries within weeks. So I think this was a nice improvement in the current model. The reason I wanted to do this automation is there's been countless times that I got into that shower and forgot to turn that switch on. So you end up really fogging up the bathrooms considerably, and there's no real good way to get from that shower to the switch when you're all wet. So now let's go ahead and look at what it takes to install this EnerWave wireless relay. So first of all, the switch was purchased on Amazon. The cost of this switch is $41.99. There's a link in the description so that if you want to check it out, you can. The Z-Wave is a micro switch that installs behind an existing wall switch. The switch allows you to wirelessly control your appliances like lights and fans from an internet connected smartphone, tablet, or computer. It utilizes Z-Wave Plus, and it also features improved battery life, an increased wireless range, and increased bandwidth. It acts as a Z-Wave repeater to extend the range of the Z-Wave signal up to 100 feet. And the switch also will work even if the module fails. So even if you want to toggle the switch manually, that status is reflected in the SmartThings app. So if I turn the switch on, it shows on within the app, and I turn it off manually, it shows that it is off. So that's pretty cool that it synchronizes with the app like that. One thing I wanted to point out, EnerWave makes a dual relay switch. The one that I have is a single relay. The fact that I'm putting it into a gang box that contains two switches, I wish I had the foresight to purchase the dual relay switch. As a matter of fact, I may still do that. The benefit of having that dual relay switch is you can control the devices on both of these light switches rather than just a single light switch. So if I ever get to the point where I get the Zeus sensor working, I could have the capability, if I get the dual relay, to not only turn the shower fan light off and on based on humidity, but also I'd have the capability of turning the bathroom light on when motion is sensed. So that'd be pretty neat to more fully use the 4-in-1 capabilities on that Zeus sensor. So I wanted to show you that this switch is very compact and it's easy to fit in most gang boxes. It certainly helps if you have one of the deeper gang boxes. Here is a picture of the switch next to one of my pens to give you an idea of the size. And also here is another picture showing you what it looks like next to a receptacle cover to give you an idea of its size. The reason I wanted to buy this relay is because I could not find a smart switch to match the double toggle switch that I have that goes into a single gang box. Maybe there's one out there, I don't know, but I didn't have any luck finding anything to match what I have here in my bathroom. So if you're in a similar situation, then a micro relay switch may be the solution for you as well. So when I began wiring, I was very skeptical that I could get that EnerWave wireless relay switch in the box with all the wiring that had to go in as well. And partially because the size of my receptacle and also of the double switch is quite a bit larger than the typical switches or receptacles that you find. But actually it worked out real well. So to wire this switch, what you want to do is you simply wire the black hot wire from the relay to the bundle of black wires that you see here. Then you also want to take the white neutral wire from the relay and attach that to the white bundle of wires. So what you do next then is you remove the wire that goes to the load. In other words, you remove the wire from the switch that supplies power to your light or your fan, and you replace that wire with that orange auxiliary wire from the relay. So the orange auxiliary wire goes to the terminal that is now open on the switch, and then you take the red load wire from the relay and you connect that with the wire that was formerly attached to the switch. Hopefully that's clear for you. I will leave a link in the description below. That link will take you to a document that not only includes a wiring diagram, but also includes some instructions on how to program the EnerWave switch. So here you see how I placed the wiring. Mainly I compacted the wiring on the left side of the gang box, leaving room for the switch on the right side. Now that I have everything wired up, I'm ready to add the switch to my SmartThings app. The instructions tell you that you must first exclude the switch before you try to add it to the app. Being hard-headed, I tried to add it without excluding it and found that that didn't work at all. So I realized I definitely would need to exclude the switch. And so to exclude a switch, now in this case, I'm talking about excluding a switch in the classic SmartThings app, and this is specific to an iOS device user. You want to tap More, which is the 3 lines in your SmartThings app, and then you want to tap on your hub. Now I only have one hub. If you have more than one hub, you certainly want to choose the correct hub to exclude from. Next, you would tap on Z-Wave Utilities, and then you want to tap on General Device Exclusion. And then you'll tap on Remove at that point. Then you should see a message instructing you to please follow the manufacturer's instructions to remove the Z-Wave device from SmartThings. And then you'll need to perform the required exclusion process. On the EnerWave relay, it just simply requires you to press the program button one time to exclude. So now I'm going to add the switch to my SmartThings device. This is done just as you would with any other SmartThings device. You want to tap on the home icon, and then you'll tap on the plus sign to add to the intended device. And then once you hit that plus sign, you'll need to tap the program button once on the EnerWave relay switch. I found that the switch was added pretty quickly. And then once I got the switch added, I renamed it to Bath Fan / Light. So when I initially tested the switch, I was experiencing some very serious delays in response, and in some instances it didn't even respond at all. I kind of figured out that the problem was the placement of the antenna, and what you'll see here, when I initially placed the antenna in the box, I placed it in the rear of the box, actually ran over to the left behind that receptacle switch, and I assumed that I would have to kind of move it out towards the front of the box to make it more receptive. So I moved the antenna to the front of the box, actually to the right top side of the gang box, and I decided to leave the tip of the antenna to extend outside the box, and I figured I could conceal it when I placed the receptacle cover on the box. So prior to putting the cover back on the box, I decided to test the responsiveness of the switch, and I found it to be very responsive. So my takeaway on this was that you have to be extremely careful to make sure that the antenna is placed properly. It does say in the instructions that you should not place the antenna against any metal parts. And even though I didn't have it against the metal parts, I guess it was hindered by the fact that it was mounted in the back of the box. So here you can see how the antenna was positioned outside the box and how nicely it can be concealed by the receptacle cover. So after securing the cover plate back onto the receptacle and to the switches, I performed a confirmation test to verify that everything was working properly, and found that all systems were go. The switch was very responsive. So now let me take you into the SmartThings Classic app, where I'll show you how I set this up to work with the SmartThings multi-purpose sensor. Okay, here we are into my iPhone. Since this is iPhone, if you're using Android, it may look a little bit different than this. Today I thought I would show you both set up not only on the SmartThings Classic app that you see here, but also on the new app. So we're going to start off with the Classic app. Let's go into there. And the first place you want to go once you're in here is here to the Automations tab. Now you'll notice in the Automations tab I have this Smart Lighting app in here. If you don't see that in your list, then the first thing you need to do is go to the Marketplace down here. First go to Smart Apps, and then you're going to look for Lights and Switches. So then you want to go to Smart Lights. So you're going to set up the routine in here initially to get the Smart Lighting app installed if you don't already have it installed. Once you've set up your first application using the Marketplace app, then from then on you will do this in the previous tab. So you don't want to go here each time and set up a new lighting automation. You'll do this only the first time. So I'm going to back out of that, and I'm going to go back to the Automation tab. Now the setup will be the same here. I'm going to go back into Smart Lighting, and as you'll see, I have several Smart Lighting automations already set up, so that's why I don't want to add it on the other side. So once you have your first lighting automation set up, you'll go here to add an additional lighting automation. And let me point out that these automations, even though I have all of these set up to turn on lights, this one turns on lights when there's motion at my garage bench. This one turns on lights in the kitchen. This one turns on lights for the porch. But you can use this for switches also, so it doesn't have to be necessarily a lighting routine. So let's go ahead and click on New Lighting Automation. The first thing it asks, which devices do you want to control? And of course, we want to control this bath fan light. So we're going to click on that, and then we're going to go up here and hit Done. So after each of these selections, it'll be the same thing. You'll hit Done after you do that. We want the bathroom fan light to turn on, so we'll leave that setting unchanged. Down here where it says, how do you want to trigger? We're going to select that. And since we're using that multi-purpose sensor, we want to do the open-close selection. And we're going to go up here and hit Done again. Next, it asks, which open-close sensors do you want to use? So we're going to click on that, and obviously we want to choose this bathroom shower sensor. So with that selection, we'll go up and hit Done again. And then turn on when opened. Actually, we want it turned on when closed. So we're going to go in there and change that to closed and hit Done. And then this is important here. You want it to turn off when open. You'll want to select that. And down here it gives you more options then. So you can select after how many minutes. And we're going to put in, I had it 5, I think I'm going to change it to 3 here. And with that we can hit next, but before I do that I want to show you that you have more options here. You can restrict this to certain times of the day, only when the mode is in a certain status, like whenever you're home, only if a particular switch is on and off, and also you have it controlled by luminance. So there's a lot of options here. We're not going to use any of those additional options. We're set with what we have here now, so I'm going to go up here and hit Next. Now it's just a matter of editing this name if you want to change it. It says turn on bath fan light when bathroom shower sensor closes, and I'm satisfied with that name, so I'm going to go ahead and hit Save. And now you see up here that the automation is saved and automating. So we can hit Save to close this app, and we're done in the Classics app. So I'm going to go ahead and close that, and then we'll go into the new app. Okay, and as we go in the new app, I've already set up these 2 sensors in my bathroom. So you can see the bath fan light, and you can see the shower sensor. So the shower sensor is open and the bath is off. The nice thing about the new app is you can go in and click on these sensors, and you can see the various status. I can tell that it's 73 degrees in my bathroom. There's no vibration. I can see the battery status. So a lot of information in here. Plus you can see history that has happened. So that's really nice. So let's go ahead and create this automation. And I'm going to go up here where this plus sign is, and I'm going to click on the plus. And then down here where it says automation, we're going to click on that. And to do this in this new app, you're going to see that we have to actually add 2 different automations. One to turn the fan light on, and another one to turn the fan light off. So the first one we're going to do is turning the fan light on. We're going to add a condition, and we want to check device status first. And we're going to go down and check that shower sensor. And we're going to use this shower sensor as a contact sensor. You can see you can also use it as a temperature sensor, a vibration sensor, or you can do an automation based on the status of the battery if you want to be notified when the battery's low, something like that. So let's go to contact sensor, and we want to select when this contact is closed. That's when we want the fan light to turn on. And we'll go up here and hit Save, and then Done. And then here's where we put in the action. So we're going to add an action. So whenever this sensor is closed, we want to turn on that fan light. So we're going to control a device. So hit control devices. You see the fan light here in the list. And then we're going to hit next. We selected that. Go back in and we want to turn that on. We're going to hit done and we'll hit done again. Now the automation name, I'm going to just change this. Bathroom fan light on and hit OK. Alright, so that automation is saved. You can now see that we have our bathroom fan on routine in here. So now we need to add an additional automation to turn the bathroom fan light off. So we're going to add a condition, and we're going to do the device status again. And we want it to use the bathroom sensor, and we're going to use it as a contact sensor. And we want to do this time when this sensor is opened. That's when we want to turn the light off. We're going to hit save, hit done. Then we're going to add an action. So whenever that sensor is open, we want to control a device, and that device will be the bath fan light. We'll hit next. Let's go back in here. We want to select off, but we have an additional action to do here. We want to delay that action. So let's hit the delay. And since we want 3 minutes and it's not in the list, we're going to hit customize. We're going to select 3 minutes. And we're going to hit save. So now it's going to turn off, but only after 3 minutes. We're going to hit done. And then hit done again. As far as the name, we're going to change this name to kind of match the other one. Bathroom fan off. We'll hit OK. And now you see our 2 routines listed in here. Let's go back to the main menu. And now you'll be able to see the status. Right now the shower bathroom sensor is open and the fan light is off. When this sensor closes, then you'll see that light turn on. So that's all there is to setting it up in the new app. So I think in the future I'll start showing you how to do these routines in both apps, because I know some of you have already gotten word to migrate over to the new app. I'm still waiting to get word from SmartThings in order to make that migration. So I'll wait until I get that, but I can at least show you how to do some of the setups in the new app as well. So hopefully you found this content useful. If you did, I would surely appreciate it if you give the video a like. That tells the YouTube algorithms that this content might be useful to others, and it certainly helps my channel. Appreciate you watching today, and we'll see you next time.